Assalamualaikum. Now question number 32 of June 2024. So which shows a result of deforestation and the effect it has on the environment. Result fewer flowering plants and reduce carbon dioxide in the air. So it is wrong. It will cause increased carbon dioxide in the air. That's why it is wrong. Fewer trees increase humidity of air. No, it should be decrease humidity of air. More ground cover and wind removes soil. It will be less ground cover if there will be deforestation. More water drain away because of deforestation. Okay, and if the water drain away, then soil will also washed away. That's why D is the correct answer. Now, look at question number 35. The diagram shows the life cycle of a species of plant. During which of the stages does meiosis or reduction division occur? We know that meiosis it occurs during the formation of pollen or in the formation of ovule. Therefore, it is meiosis. And when they fuse together, they form seed. So, seed is fertilized ovule. Seed is fertilized ovule. Okay. Now, question number 36. The diagram shows the arrangement of blood vessel in the uterus wall and the placenta of a pregnant woman. So this is placenta. What placenta? It consists of uterus wall plus this embryonic villi, and this is called what? Umbilical cord. So which will increase in concentration in the blood as it flows from 1 to 2. The 1 is coming from mother and 2 is going back to mother. Going back to mother, of course, from fetus. So which will increase in concentration as it flows from 1 to 2. Of course, carbon dioxide concentration is low over here, and over here it will increase. Okay, from the mother there will be more oxygen. Over here there will be less oxygen. So that's why carbon dioxide is the correct answer. B is the correct answer. Now move on to year 2005. Topics are same, that is ecology, reproduction in plant and reproduction in human. So in this question, the diagram shows part of a nervous system that has been cut at X. So what is this neuron? This neuron is sensory neuron. Why we call it sensory neuron? Because over here the cell body is located outside the gray matter. That's why it is called sensory neuron. This is relay neuron and this is motor neuron. So as there is sensory neuron, the function of the sensory neuron is to take impulse, is to take the impulse of bee sting from sensory neuron to relay neuron. So if there isn't any connection between sensory and relay neuron, so no pain will be felt. And of course, if there isn't any pain, then of course why the person will remove the arm. Therefore, the correct answer is A. Now, question number 28. The diagram represents the flow of substance within a balanced ecosystem. The boxes are various trophic level. This is again the same type of question. Which box represent herbivore? Now, double arrows show flow of organic substance and single arrow is showing flow of carbon dioxide. So let's see where the carbon dioxide is gaining entry. So carbon dioxide is gaining entry. All the carbon dioxide is gaining entry at part B. Therefore, part B should be producer and part C should be herbivore then. And part D is carnivore. Then what is A? As all the organic substances will eventually end up in A, therefore A should be decomposer. Okay. Now next. The diagram shows the carbon cycle. What are the processes P, Q and R? P. P is a process which releases carbon dioxide in the air. Therefore, P is respiration. Now, Q, carbon dioxide in the air is taken up by the green plant. So therefore, it is photosynthesis. Decomposer, when the decomposer it respire, then it releases carbon dioxide back to the atmosphere. So what is P, Q and R? What is P? P is respiration. P is respiration, therefore B and D is correct. And Q is photosynthesis, therefore photosynthesis, and R is respiration. Because the decomposer, during the process of decomposition, when it respire, then it releases carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Therefore, D is the correct answer. Now next, what will be the effect of increasing nitrate levels in the air, in the river? When the nitrate level will increase in the river, then what happen? Animal will absorb the nitrate and make more urea. Animal will absorb the nitrates and form protein. Animal will not absorb nitrate. Always the plant will absorb nitrate. Okay? Therefore, both of them are wrong. Plant will absorb nitrate and make more urea. Plant will not form urea. That's why it is wrong. Plant will absorb nitrate and form proteins. That's why D is correct. Okay, the diagram shows 4 different fruits. Which 2 fruits are dispersed by animal? We know that this is fleshy and succulent fruit. That's why it is going to be dispersed by animal, and these are hook like structure. They will cling to the body surface of animal, therefore they are going to be dispersed by animal. This is a flattened wing like structure, so it will be dispersed by wind, and these are self dispersal mechanism, or as in our syllabus, self dispersal mechanism is not included, therefore it is wind dispersal. So therefore answer, which 2 fruits are dispersed by animal? 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 2 and 4 are going to be dispersed by animal, therefore option C is correct. Now next, after sexual intercourse, sperms can survive for 3 days in the uterus and oviduct. Assume ovulation can occur any time from day 13 and day 15. If an egg cell live up to 2 days after ovulation, how long is the fertile phase of the menstrual cycle? No. Now sperm can survive for 3 days. Okay, and ovulation can occur from 13 to day 15. So just write down 13, 14 and then 15. In this period the ovulation will occur, and we know that as the examiner has written over here, that told you about that the lifespan of the sperm can survive for 3 days. So therefore 12, 11 and 10, this is the survival period of sperm, and egg can live up to 2 days to 16 and then 17. So how many days are there? That will be 7 days. Therefore 7 is the correct answer. Okay, so 13, 14 and 15 ovulation period, 3 days. Sperm can survive till 13. Sperm can survive till 13. This sperm can also survive till 14 or 15, and same when the ovulation will occur, this egg can survive till 16, this egg can survive till 17. Therefore 10 till 17 will be the fertile period. Now next, 2006, the diagram shows a section through the human eye. Where will the image be detected when a person look at an object? What is D? D is cornea. Cornea का function क्या होता है? What is the function of cornea? It refract light. It is a transparent structure with refract light. C is lens. The function of the lens is to focus the light rays on the retina. And A is retina. And which part of the retina is this? It is fovea, where all the when a person look at an object, then the image will be detected at the when the person looks straight, then the image is formed at the fovea, where the concentration of cones are high. Okay, and B, what is B? B is the blind spot. Over here there is no photoreceptor cells, therefore the correct answer is A. Now move on to question number 29. A sparrowhawk eat small birds that feeds on caterpillar. Caterpillar feed on plant leaves. So caterpillar feed on plant leaves. So plant leaves, caterpillar, we have to form the pyramid of biomass for this food chain, and this small bird that feed on caterpillar, small bird feeds on caterpillar, and then the sparrowhawk. We know that in the biomass 90% of the biomass is lost in each trophic levels, therefore it should be upside down. Okay, so the correct answer is A. Now move on to next question. The diagram shows part of the nitrogen cycle. Which stage depend on the action of bacteria? At first we should label all the stages. Now and the nitrate ion is converted into nitrogen compound in plants. We can say assimilation or absorption, because when the plant it absorbs the nitrate ion, then it is converted into nitrogen compounds in plant. And then nitrogen compound in animals through feeding. When the animal it feed upon the plant, then it is converted into nitrogen compounds in animal. Then what is 3? Nitrogen compound in dead matter is converted into ammonium ion. This is decomposition or putrefaction. Okay, both of them are same thing. And then ammonium ion will convert into nitrate ion. This is done by nitrification. So what is the question? Which stage depend on the action of bacteria? Decomposition is depend upon the action of bacteria, and nitrification is dependent upon the action of bacteria. So 3 and 4. Therefore, option C is correct. Now, look at question number 32. The graph shows the concentration of oxygen in a river measured at station 1 to 5, each 100 meter apart. There is a sewage outflow just after station 1. After station 1, there is a sewage outflow. At which station are the concentration of organic matter lowest? Organic matter lowest, there will be sewage outflow. At which concentration, at which station are the concentration of organic matter lowest? Of course, before the sewage flow, because at the after 1 there's a sewage outflow, so there will be more concentration of organic matter, that is feces and urinary substances, all these urea, uric acid and feces, all that substances, that is nitratine and all that substances. And then at 5 again, as it is distant from the sewage outflow, therefore at 5 again the concentration of organic matter is lowest. Therefore correct answer is A. Now move on to question number 33. The diagram shows the chromosomes in a cell. Which diagram shows the product of one division of the cell by mitosis? We know that after mitosis, 2 daughter cells are formed, and the number of chromosomes are same. So at which stage the 4 daughter cells will get wrong, 4 daughter cells will get wrong, because in meiosis 4 daughter cells are formed. Therefore option B is correct. Now because the number of chromosomes are same, in A the number of chromosomes are reduced to half. Now next, a germinating seed is soaked in blue dye which become colorless in tissue that are actively respiring. What will be the appearance of the cotyledon, plumule and radicle? We know that in the germinating seeds, the cotyledon, plumule and radicle, all of them are actively respiring. Therefore, all of them will turn colorless. Therefore, option D is correct. Now next, as a surgical method of birth control involves cutting some of the tubes through which sperm pass. At which point does the surgeon makes the cut? We know that the sperm can pass through sperm duct as well as therefore at which point the sperm duct can cut? We can cut the sperm duct at B. Okay, therefore B is the correct answer. Which disease can be cured by with antibiotic? We know that antibiotic can cure the disease which is caused by bacteria. So gonorrhea is a bacterial infection and syphilis is a bacterial infection. That's why C is the correct answer. HIV is a viral infection. Now 2007, the graph shows changes in the glucose concentration in the blood of a person during 2 hours. What explain the shape of the graph after X? After X, there will be increase in blood glucose level. Fine. So the person has eaten a sugary food. Of course, there will be increase in concentration of glucose, because the person has eaten a sugary food at X. Now look at the other options as well. The person has had an insulin injection. When the person has had an insulin injection, then it should fall. But as it is increasing, therefore B option is wrong. C, the person is suffering from diabetes mellitus. If the person is suffering from diabetes mellitus, then at this point the concentration of glucose cannot be constant, and after that certain period the glucose concentration cannot be constant. Therefore C is also wrong. The person starts some physical exercise. When the person starts some physical exercise, then the glucose concentration will go down, it will not increase. Therefore option A is correct. Now next, in a reflex section, after the hand touches a hot object, what is the role of the brain? What is the role of the brain? The brain, when a hand touches a hot object. So in this case, this type of reflex section is under the control of spinal cord, because we have already studied that all those parts which are closer to the brain, in such cases cranial reflex is involved, whereas all those parts which are closer to the spinal cord, in such cases spinal reflex is involved. As the person touches a hot object with the help of hand, therefore the center would be spinal cord, not the brain. So what is the role of brain? Brain will just receive the information. That's it. Brain will just receive the information, and brain has nothing to do with the initiation of the withdrawal response. So brain will receive the information, but it has nothing to do with the initiation of the withdrawal response, because this initiation of the withdrawal response is under the control of spinal cord, because this is a spinal reflex action. Okay, now the diagram shows a section through a human eye where the structure contain the muscle which contract to produce a focused image on the retina. We know that for focusing object, three things are important. Number one, ciliary muscle. Number two, suspensory ligament, and both of them, they control the size of the lens. So where the ciliary muscle is located, at B there is ciliary muscle, so which structure will contract? The B will contract to focus the image on the retina, because we know that muscle can only contract or relax. Lens will just change the shape. It will get longer or thinner, that is, it will get more convex or less convex. Okay, now next, the diagram shows concentration will also